Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today, I got a #1 deck for you. Super excited to show this one. And additionally, to give you a little bit more information, it is a combo deck. So it's pretty nasty, very sweet, and becoming a mainstream. So Planeswalkers, with that said, before we go ahead and check out the deck, we're going to talk about the main board, we'll talk about the sideboard, we'll talk about how to pull these together for a best of 3 match, and then we'll go play some Magic here in competitive, but we're going to do it in Friday Night Magic at home, historic all access today, and play 3 matches of best of 1 Planeswalkers. So with that said, before we do that, I just want to say thank you as always. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on daily content like this. Additionally, my friends, you can follow my journey down below on my Untapped profile. Additionally, I have the companion app there available for you to share it with me as well. So very excited about that. And last but not least, other ways to support the channel down below in the description. You can become a patron, or you can also feel free to become a member of the channel down over there. Great benefits, great ways to interact, and looking forward to it, Planeswalkers. All right, so what deck do we have today, my friends? We have a good old Neostorm, also called a Neoform deck. So this deck has certainly risen in prominence, very popular here, but before we get started, it's really a teamer. So teamer, Neoform, Neostorm, whatever you want to call it, and teamer hails to us from Torcure. That gives us the red, the blue, and the green color schema, or the color wheel, which is the mountain, the islands, as well as the forest colors. And the whole thing revolves around this guy here, Neoform. So it has an additional cost to cast a spell. We sacrifice a creature, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1+, sacrifice creature's converted mana cost, put that card on the battlefield with additional +1/+1 counter on it, and then shuffle our library. So the way the combo works and the objective of this deck, really it takes about turn 4, turn 3. You can do it T3 if you got all the right pieces to make it happen. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to drop 1 or 2 creatures. You drop Neoform, or sorry, 1 or 2 creatures at 4 or 3. You're going to drop Seagate Stormcaller, so it's got a copy of itself. So here, when Seagate Stormcaller enters the battlefield, copy the next instant or sorcery spell. So this kind of gives us a cascade effect, also known as Storm. So that's part of the naming convention here, and that's why I wanted to cover it. So what you're going to do is you're going to sacrifice with Neoform, and then you're going to pull these bad boys in, dual caster after dual caster after dual caster. Then you're going to pull in the mimics, mimic after mimic after mimic, and then you're going to want to give them haste. And then last but not least, if you get it to work, you can do Combat Celebrant. So you can either do it with the copy, you can also do it without, but you want to make sure that you're open to get your final kind of blow in there. And then last, you can get that additional copy here with Combat Celebrant. And we'll talk about some of these pieces here in a little bit more detail in a second, but that is the combo, my friends. Very powerful, hits hard, does it well, does it fast, and very important. So that is the objective of this deck. If you got questions or comments, though, let me know down below. Deck list is available for you down below in the description. The links are down there as well to the deck. And feel free to hop in the Discord channel. It's also in the description with the server. So quickly, we'll do a quick flyby here. I think it's really important. Additionally, this will show us the deck in its totality, and then we'll talk about each of these pieces in and of themselves. So very happy to be playing this today for you in Friday Night Magic, historic all access. And then we'll go talk about the sideboard here in a second. So first off, we got Opt. It's an instant speed spell with scry 1, draw a card. We got Pact of Negation. This is a very powerful card from the Amonkhet Remastered. Here we can counter target spell, and at the beginning of our next end step, we pay 5. If we don't, we lose the game. So this key card here, something to keep in mind, is it protects our combo. So it's very important. As long as we combo off, we can protect it and we can win the match. We don't even have to worry about playing 5 mana or paying 5 mana there in the next turn. So something a lot of people forget. I'll say that's a pro tip there. Here we got Perilous Voyage as well. This is a 2-drop. We can return target non-land permanent we don't control to its owner's hand. If its converted mana cost was 2 or less, we also get a Scribe 2. Then we got Seagate Stormcaller, so I kind of covered this one already, but you can also kick it. If it was kicked, we can copy that spell twice instead, and we may choose new targets if we'd like. Then we have Shimmer of Possibility here. We can look at the top 4 cards of our library, put one of them into our hand, the rest in the bottom of our library in any order. So really about fixing. Then we got Paradise Druid. Paradise Druid has hexproof, so you want to keep this on the board because it's hard to remove, and this allows us to get the Neoform combo going off, and it gives us that additional mana if we need it, and add 1 mana of any color. Then we got Wall of Blossoms. So this creature's got Defender. When it enters, we also get to draw a card. And then last here in the 2-drops, we got the Neoform, which we already talked about as part of that combo as well. Then we got Glasspool Mimic, so I'll spend a second here. This is a modal land out of Zendikar's Rising. We may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature we control, except it's also a shapeshifter rogue in addition to its other types, and then it can also enter as a mana if we need it, and come in tapped. Then we got Combat Celebrant, a very powerful 3-drop. If it hasn't been exerted this turn, we may exert it as it attacks, and when we do, we untap all of their creatures we control, and after this phase, there's additional combat. So gonna definitely close things out here with that card. Then we got Tuk Rubble Fort. So Defender and Reach, creatures we control have haste. You absolutely need this. It has to happen. We need that haste to hit in, so keep that in mind. Then we got Dual Caster Mage. So this one's got Flash. When it enters the battlefield, copy target instant or sorcery spell. We may choose new targets for that copy, so that's how we keep that chain going. The Storm command, the Cascade command, whatever you want to call it. Very powerful here, my friends. Then, last but not least, in terms of cards, at our 4-drop here, if we get it, look at the top 7 cards of our library. We can put 2 of them in our hand, and the rest in the bottom of our library in a random order. We are running a healthy 19 lands. We do have some of those modal lands, and then a lot of coverage here in terms of lands if we need them. And I am missing quite a few rares, 7 and 7 uncommon. Obviously, I can make a uncommon. That's a non-issue. But very happy to be running this deck. So that is the main board, my friends. That is the combo. It's very succinct. It's very powerful. It does a lot, and I can't wait to play it for you. But with that said, that is the main board. So let's talk a little bit about the sideboard here, because this can be pretty important for us. So again, as I mentioned, we have Pact of Negation. You're going to want to run this against counterspell decks. You're going to want to run this against decks that can interrupt that combo. You're absolutely 100, 200%, 300% going to need this. So keep that in mind. This could be things like the Azorus control decks. It could be games like the Auras decks, or at least UW Auras if they're sideboarding in. It could be against mirror matches, the Neostorm mirror match. It could be against Mono Blue Temple. Anything running blue, you're probably going to want to do this. You're also going to have to be careful against direct kill decks. Those could be things like Sultai Midrange as well. Then we also have Blink of an Eye. Here we can kick something back, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If this spell was kicked, we can also draw a card. You're going to want to use this to not only protect your own cards, but also sometimes slowing down some of the plays of your opponents. So you could play this against things like aggro, mono red. You could also play it against mono white life gain. You could play it against the Auras decks. Lots of different spots that you could play this one. Then we have a Braid. So a Braid deals 3 damage to target creature. Also, we can destroy artifact. You're going to run this against any of the artifact decks. You're going to want to run this against the other combo deck that we just did here. You guys can check that one out. And I'm blanking on Paradox Engine deck. And then also all the decks that are just no colorless monument decks as well. And then against any aggro deck, a Braid's a good one to have in there. That's going to be Goblins, that could be Mono Red aggro, that could also be Gruul, that could be Mono Black, which we just did as well. Then you got Mystical Dispute. Again, this is putting us on the defensive for a combo, which is very important. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a blue spell. Counter target spell unless its controller plays 3, so that's our slip. Anything running blue, play this against. Control decks, play this against. Sultai mid-range, you can play it against a mirror match. Very, very important. It's going to be a counter match kind of game. Then we have Anger of the Gods. So Anger of the Gods here is a nice 3-drop. It deals 3 damage to each creature. If a creature dealt damage this way, it would die this turn. Exile it instead. Very good against X-Plane Lurrus, good against Aura's decks, good against Goblin decks, Tribal decks, you name it, Elf decks, those kinds of things. Decent in the mirror match as well. You're going to be able to take a lot of the stuff off the board. Good against Mono Black. Also good against the Kaladesh vehicle decks that you may run into. Good against sack decks. All those things because... Oops. Well, creatures got to be dealt damage this way. And then last but not least, again, Drawn from Dreams. I would play this against more of the mid-range late game decks, not necessarily aggro. You could play it against aggro to maybe tee yourself up, so it could be a couple different areas. But again, lots of situations for this one. But again, to me, again, mid-range to late game kind of tee up. Or if you need to find some of those other pieces because you're putting some of these other things in there. Woo! All right, Planeswalkers. So we talked about the main board. We talked about the sideboard. Let's pull those two together in a how-to. It's going to be pretty important. We're near for our best 3 matches. We'll talk about the aggro. We'll talk about the mid-range. We'll talk about the late game. So again, against the aggro. Blink of the Eye is nice, Braid's nice, Anger of the Gods is nice. So let's go 6, call it a day there. What would I swap out? I'd swap out Drawn from Dreams. Pact of Negation you're not going to need at that point too. So that's 3. Additionally, you might want Perilous Voyage. If not, that could easily get you to where you need to be in terms of 4 to 6. You could always drop a Tuk Rebel for it. You only need 1, to be honest. If you get your combo going, that's fine. There's other reasons why it's in here in case they remove it off the board, kind of a thing. But that's a good thought there. And that's enough to lock you in. You could always pop out a Wall of Blossoms as well there. So that's kind of how I would approach the aggro. The mid-range is going to be, you're going to have to be careful. You're probably going to want Pact of Negation. You may want some Mystical Disputes. Again, Dawn from Dreams potentially. Blink of the Eye maybe. So a couple different options. We'll go 4 to 6 here again. I think it's very straight and narrow of a deck. You could probably drop Drawn from Dreams. If they are running control, you're going to want Pact of Negation. They might not be running a lot of creatures, so this is where you're going to want to maybe get rid of Perilous Voyage as an option. Again, the other one that I like to get rid of potentially is Wall of Blossoms. I prefer Paradise Druid for the early ramp on the Neoform and the self-sack kind of a thing, to get that engine going and that protection. So those are kind of where I would play those, and that gives you a good healthy spot. The things you can't touch, you don't want to touch Neoform, you don't want to touch Dual Caster, you don't want to touch Glass Pool. You could touch Tuk if you wanted to. Then last but not least, late game. So late game stuff is going to be control. It could be a Sultai control type deck, Sultai mid-range, whatever you want to call it. You're going to need Pact of Negation. You're going to need Mystical Dispute because you're going to have to defend yourself. And that's going to be key. And you're probably going to want 2 of those, 1 to 2 of those before you kind of clock off here on your combo as well. So where would I switch out? Again, Drawn from Dreams. 4, you're going to be in trouble, but you could try it. I'd probably get rid of that. I would also probably get rid of Perilous Voyage. That gives you 4. And then, if they're not running direct kill spells, if you want to go a little bit slower, you could keep the Wall of Blossoms for the cantrip and the draw. Otherwise, I'd look at those 2 in terms of cutting. You could cut Shimmer of Possibility, but you want to make sure that you're trying to set your deck up too. So Planeswalkers, that was the aggro, that was the mid-range, that was the late game lineup in terms of our best of 3. At this point now, if you got questions, further comments, let me know down below. You can hop in the Discord, happy to chat there too. Very, very excited about this Neostorm, Neoform, whatever deck you want to call it, the number 1 here. Let's go ahead and play some competitive Magic here. But first, I forgot to mention this particular deck is by a player by the name of Stupid Rock 01. So congratulations, my friend, on hitting the number 1 rank. on the ladder with this deck. So we will go ahead now and play some Magic. Very, very excited. I will definitely play it at least until we can show the full combo. I did that with the Paradox Engine one. You guys can check out. Obviously here I did run it because I was curious on one thing, and I got it to work, of course, the first time. So hopefully it should work again. And I will play it until it definitely works for you Planeswalkers. So with that said, Planeswalkers, before we decide if we want to keep this hand against Tres Leches 2020, I just want to say thank you. As always, I appreciate your support. You can subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, feel free to like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this and other ways to support the channel down below in the description. You can become a patron. You can also feel free to become a member and get access to all sorts of great, awesome benefits. So we're missing a green here, which is a problem. We can cast Stormcaller, but we're going to need a few things. We can look with Opt. I'm going to probably keep it because I can look with Opt. We're going to make it very, very interesting, to say the least. Probably wouldn't have been a bad one to pitch, to be honest, but we'll try it out. So after this, we need to find a Neoform. So there we go. There's our Neoform. So we'll be slightly less on this one. Good news is we will definitely be able to pull it off. On the first turn. So now the game begins. So let's see if they let me run through the whole thing. I do know a lot of people like to actually watch it sometimes because they haven't seen the combo, but in this case, we'll find out pretty quickly. So now we grab good old Tuk Tuk and Celebrants and we'll exert, and then everything else will attack. Boom! We got it! First try. Love it, love it, love it. So very, very aggressive. We did do it on turn 4, and we kept a hand that was iffy, but it worked out, my friends. So very, very happy. That is the whole goal of that deck. So there we were playing a Mono Red Cavalcade deck. So very, very interesting. This deck, you certainly need to be able to interrupt relatively fast to make it happen. Very, very strong. Obviously, I think you guys have seen I haven't crafted it yet because a lot of it came from Jumpstart, but it certainly is worth crafting in my mind. I'm going to keep this again because we still got the dual cast. We got a few things we can do here. I'm actually going to play the Triumphs first to hopefully not slow down a turn or two. Alright, so we got a Goblins deck. Alright, so we got another Stormcaller here. we are missing the key piece, the Neoform piece right now. So I had to play those to protect the board here. Block there, and block there. If we hit Neoform, which we did not hit. Ooh. Might still be able to hit, we'll see. There's a Neoform. I need a land. Oh, I needed a land. Oh, if I would have got a land, I don't know if I would have got enough through. It would have been close though, because we got 2 dual casters and we had 2 of the other guys in. We would have got Tuck in. I don't know if it would have been enough final damage there, but it would have been close. All right, we'll let them finish out here. Good match. Just one shy. One shy. Very, very nice. We tried it. If we would have had that one land. That's how it goes. All right, on to the third and final best of 1 match, you guys. This stuff goes so fast. It goes so fast. So keys here, you can hit the combo without Stormcaller. Good to have Stormcaller. Obviously, you need Neoform. You're going to want to have things to dig. Miss Dr. Clamps it is. You can obviously be very aggressive. So here we have a really, really nice setup. So we'll keep this. So here is going to be we need a little bit more mana. Alright, so as long as they don't get us here, we're okay. I think we're okay too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 1 shy. Can we exact our revenge on goblins? I think we'll be okay. Alright, we are good, my friends, and in the clear here. So we got it off the first match, super exciting. Second match, we very close. Third match, we hit it. But we got to see the full thing, which is what I wanted. Super, super fast matches. I haven't done a video, I don't think, in this record time in a while, even in best of one. So pretty nasty, my friends. Let's go ahead and take a look at the deck again. So this is the #1 Neostorm, Neoform, whatever you want to call it, deck. We talked about the combo. This combo is super nasty, as you guys saw. Again, questions or comments, let me know down below. Feel free to hop in the Discord channel that's in the description. Additionally, deck list is available for you down below, as well as deck link Planeswalkers. Last but not least, as always, huge thank you. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on daily content like this. And additionally, Planeswalkers, other ways to support the channel down below in the description. Feel free to become a patron. You can be a member. Lots of great ways to interact and benefits for you as well, and enjoy doing that. So Planeswalkers, again, this was the Neoform Neostorm deck. We talked about all the different ways that you can make it happen. We talked about the objective of the deck. Very nice in terms of a turn 4. We didn't play the best of 3, but obviously we talked about that, and I think it's going to be a pretty solid game plan and work out just fine for you. Definitely, in my opinion, probably worth the craft. We got a little ways here, but I want to save some of these things for all the new coming things. But a great deck nonetheless. So Planeswalkers, again, questions, comments, let me know. Otherwise, until next time, you guys stay safe. We'll see you again soon, and stay tuned for a lot more stuff coming your way. And Planeswalkers, Mythras out. We'll talk soon. Take care.